Okay, we're going to call the Monday, March 7th, Park and Recreation Commission meeting to order. We have no public forum, so we're just going to move right along here. Correspondence. We have a letter from Julie Schleschel. Part of it is concerned about the pickleball courts, about the muddy path to the pickleball courts, and you're going to work on that, Rick?
Yes.
We're going to pave it in the spring.
Yeah.
And then some question about the basketball courts. And then the second piece is from Steve Warden, requesting some trash barrels be placed at the Barbara Pine Beach and Shell Beach, and we're going to talk about that in new business, so we'll hang on to that. No. But we talked about it a bit, but this is a new concern that just came up, so we need to readdress it. All right, approval of the February 7th, 2022 minutes. Can we get a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve the February 7th, 2022 minutes.
Okay. Do we have any questions, additions, corrections, comments?
Yeah.
Wait, did somebody second it? I'll second. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself tonight. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Expenditures. Any questions on the expenditures? She does make this very easy to read. So, any questions or comments on the expenditures? Wow.
So the one you would approve on the last page, it's the one on the right column, the net amount. The difference is there was a credit, the $43.40 credit for something that was sent back. So what we actually spent was the $123,241, $248.41.
All right. $123,248.41. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, can we get a motion to approve the expenditures?
I'll make the motion to approve the expenditures as presented.
Okay, someone second? Second. Any more discussion on them? Any questions? Last chance. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Rick, I just have a question for future expenditures. When do you plan to bring back the common games into the park? When do they get back and placed back in?
Yeah, top of my head, I gotta look back. I have a record of when I do it each year, probably around 1st of April, mid-April. Once the parks really start opening, the fields open up and stuff again, that's when they go back. Probably April 1st.
All right, I know soccer's trying to open up around the first week of April.
Right.
Little League's at the end of April.
Yeah.
So, just didn't want
All right, department reports. Rick?
Let's see, just a couple I think I'll comment on. Maybe number 7, just to, happen to be at Binder Park on a couple off days that were not, weekdays, and just the activity is just great to see. The pickleball courts were full, people were playing basketball, there were families using the skate park, mostly the kids, with the little scooters, racers I guess they call them, and their parents, and then some skateboarders, and just kind of all ages out there. And I think the hour I was there, I think I counted something like 20 people that I saw heading up to play disc golf too, so a lot of activity there. I think we're going to, number 8, we're going to talk about Jacobs later on, but there were test pits done at the beach for the septic and in the parking lots. Public Works did the test pits there.
Okay, who are the bands?
The bands, all right.
I knew somebody would ask. I knew you'd ask.
The Chiclets, they played like Supremes and Aretha Franklin, and they called the Chiclets. Beach Boys tribute, Magic of Motown, we had them several years ago, and that's going to be in conjunction with, there's going to be a Guilford Cultural Arts Festival.
Oh, that's in August.
On that day, I think it's August 7th, I believe.
Yeah.
That's going like all day long, starting at noon, and then the culmination of that, we're working with the Cultural Arts Festival.
Nice.
I met with them and said, hey, how about we do the Motown that night? So that's going to be kind of tie in with it. And then another one is called Dizzy Fish. They play stuff from the 70s. And we're finishing with a Bo Bolero, Steely Dan tribute, which we had a few years back, and I had a note we had 1,600 people that night.
Wow.
So they're very well received.
The last one?
Bo Bolero. the Steely Dan tribute.
Steely Dan.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
And there's some on the beach, the program staff are working on those. I don't have all those dates yet. Those will be some Thursday nights.
Good.
And they're working on those.
Back to normal.
Yeah.
Good.
Great, well, we should get a band that has original music, and we could say that it started in Guilford, right?
Yeah, there we go. Some of them play some originals.
Richie Havens?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was here once.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, Richard, yeah,
Yeah.
he did a free concert for us at the high school to raise money to buy the showmobile.
He's a
And then
great
he was
guy.
one of the first
Really?
bands we
Yeah.
hired to
Yeah.
play
That's
on
pretty
it.
cool.
Yeah.
Here comes the sun.
I remember that, yeah. Okay. Building maintenance. Any questions or comments on that? The lights are in. I did see the new LED lights. We could see much better in the Whitfield room.
Yeah. Todd's been working with me on the building at Bittner Park. You know, we have money in the budget, money through the ARPA funds to repair the roof and new fixtures in the building, repainting the floor, new dividers. And so we already got the approval for the roofing. And I sent a purchase order out to E&H. They got the project was awarded to them by the Board of Selectmen 2 weeks ago. And so they'll do the roof. Todd's working on trying to get some quotes on, I guess I gotta say, one of the companies that has dividers, the name of their company is Heine Hiders.
I'm not going there.
Okay. Sorry, but that's what it is. Anyway, we're working to get a few quotes on that.
So are the bathrooms completely ripped apart and renovated?
Yeah, new
Both sides?
toilets, yep. Touchless toilets, touchless sinks.
All
Yeah.
Yeah, are we talking about Bittner? Is it Bittner?
Bittner,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I was.
Yeah. Yeah, the building's since, what, 1983 maybe or something? It's
Gosh,
pretty old.
Been a while.
Yeah,
remember that.
yeah,
It's vintage.
yeah.
Okay, anything else on that one? Okay, recreation supervisor.
I'll mention a couple of dates. Ellen mentioned the extravaganza, Earth Fest and Fishing Derby. The extravaganza is on the green on April 9th. Earth Fest is going to be at Baldwin, and that's, which we did a few years ago. It was very successful there, April 23rd. And the Fishing Derby at Mill Pond is May 14th.
Okay.
And if you look at the next bullet right underneath that, you know, it's fortunate that Taryn and Connor are both doing, they're actually instructing some of these classes.
They are, yes.
So it's good, you know, they're out in the community, which is here mostly, but pickleball, they're not running, but they're helping with that. But Connor, you know, goes up to Baldwin on Monday nights to check on the basketball. He does the after-school floor hockey. I think he and Taryn do. Taryn does the Ready Set Leap and the Pee Wee Sports. It's great. They're getting involved and working directly with the kids.
Is the Monday night open basketball, is that adults or anyone?
It's adults, yeah, 18 and older.
And she has done a lot with that SILS registration. That's a lot of people, so it's a lot of work. Okay, Terry was away last week, so her report didn't get written, but I guess Rick and I said we'd sort of fill in for her. But the seniors programs are alive and well and increasing in participation. So things are going well. She's got some great new trips coming up for April and May. And lots of people coming to lunch, and lots of people coming to lunch.
And Tony's report got emailed today, so maybe you didn't all get it.
Yeah,
He was sick last week, so, but if you want, I'll let me go over a couple of highlights.
Just real
for you.
quickly, yeah, please.
He mentioned there were 4 or 5 snow events in February, which was a lot. But, you know, it was a lot, and they all happen to be on weekends, it seems, so there's a lot of overtime. The guys had to come in on Saturdays and Sundays, actually, to do a lot of that work. Let's see. Picnic tables, they built 5 more picnic tables. You know, I'll send you a copy of this, Kathy, so you have it for the minutes, or did you get it?
Is that Tony's report?
Yeah, did you get an email? You got it,
Yeah.
okay. We got it today, I sent it out to everybody today, so he apologized for that, but he was sick all last
That's
week.
okay.
Is he okay?
He's okay,
Okay, good.
yeah.
Fine.
And I think his son might have gotten sick and he had to kind of stay home and take care of him, so. But he did it today, and we'll get it out into the minutes.
Rick, the lacrosse goals that are on the high school field, did we purchase, or did this high school purchase, what's the word I'm looking for? Something to roll them across so they don't pick them up, or they don't drag them across?
I know there's like a big, yeah, it's a thing where you can lift them up.
Like a cart.
I don't know if they came with the field purchase or Jake got those. We didn't get it, but they're there. I mean,
But
it's
they
there.
do happen.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because when I told you the last time I saw them up there, I didn't see those rolling apparatus on the field. And I know that when you pull those things, they can rip the seams apart.
Absolutely, yeah.
So,
That's why they have those.
have the teams been instructed not to do that?
We tell them, or get 4 guys to lift them and carry them, not to drag them. Yeah, yeah, I mean, you know.
I would hate to think that,
They
you know, we
know.
go through all this process, they get
Yeah.
the new field in, and then, you know, just some neglect on the part of the sports teams that are up there, and they start damaging the field.
One of the things on Tony's report, and I asked him what this was, because I wasn't quite sure.
The dolly, that's the word.
That's it, yeah. There's some of the tires they fill with foam, so they send the wheels out, like for lacrosse goals or any of these goals, or field hockey goals have wheels. There's a place you send them and they get injected with foam so they can't get flat. Because otherwise, if you get a flat tire, now you got, you know, they're dragging it. And some of our big equipment, like our big mowers, they fill those tires with foam too. Because he said collective equipment tires to be filled with foam. I said, Tony, tell me about that one. That one I'm not sure about. But that's what it is. They put these foam in them so that they don't go flat. But part of it is the field hockey goals, the ones that we use on the soccer goals, and then some of our mowing equipment.
Okay. Any other questions on Anthony's report? Okay. Okay, reports on the commission, representatives to commission. So, standing fields.
No meeting for this past month, the month of February. There was no February month meeting. No quorum.
Okay. Green Committee.
The main issue they've been talking about, the benches for the green, which have been ordered, they're in, we actually have them, and John Cunningham is laying out where they're gonna go, and I think at the last meeting, shared where the idea was, and how, the layout, how they might be set up. So there's gonna be 2, I guess I'll call them pods of 3 benches each. So there'll be 2 benches kind of, sort of, almost kitty corner, almost facing each other, sort of, on an angle, and then one on the other side of the sidewalk facing them. What the Green Committee wanted to do is kind of create these seating areas where you can be facing each other and talking. What generated that was, you know, throughout COVID, people bring their own chairs and sit in circles, you know, in different places around the green, and that sort of generated the idea of, gee, why don't we put some permanent benches out there in a place where it kind of makes sense. So there were a couple sidewalks that John picked that he thought would make the most sense to do it. And it would have, you know, brick base, platform, from what I call it, like the other ones have now. So he's, John, you know, is a landscape architect. He kind of trusts his opinion on that.
Good. Okay.
Rose, could I just backtrack a second on the Fields Committee? Because we didn't have a meeting, I had some questions that we were going to bring up, but it didn't happen. So I was going to ask Rick at this meeting as to whether or not it would be relevant. Do you have a letter going out to the sports teams as to when they can actually have access to the fields?
Well, we met with them all 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
Every year I meet with the spring sports groups. We have the dates that they want to go on the fields, and then we let them know if they're ready or not, if they're playable. So we make that call, not them.
Right.
Right. So once Tony says, yeah, the fields are dry, then we get, you know, I email everybody, say, okay, starting next week, you can use the fields.
Okay.
Yeah.
But how do they know that it's available to them and some road coach doesn't go out there and start practicing when he's not supposed to?
Well, if it's a road coach, we don't necessarily know, but they know from our meeting to stay off until we give them the okay to go on.
And then don't they go through a sign up with Ellen?
Yeah.
Like, once it's
for
all
games,
solidified?
Practices, not so much, but
Okay.
Like, we don't know what Little League team's on what field for practice. Little League figures that out, just say.
Right, but you know that Little League's
Someone's gonna
on.
be there, right,
So, yeah, Ellen schedules all of that and emails the coaches.
right.
Or the
She's good about
committees.
communicating with them.
Are we gonna have any, either soccer fields or any baseball fields that are not gonna be used this spring?
Might be too early to tell.
Yeah, no, I think based on the way things were in the fall, I don't think there was anything we were shutting down. Binder, we don't ever open until like May 1st, because we just gotta, the far corner stays wet, you know, the
Right.
southwest corner stays wet longer, it's in the shade a lot. So we wait, that field, we wait till May 1st.
The lower Cox field was closed. for
Lower
soccer.
Cox, they could play on it, but it's getting renovated, if the budget passes, starting July 1st, we're putting irrigation in there. So it'll probably be shut down in the fall, because we have to reseed it after we do the work there. But we let them know they can use it in the spring if they want. Baldwin A, Little League Field's shut down because the backstop's coming out of there because of the drainage project we're doing there, which isn't finished yet, but Public Works is doing that. And that's all gonna get graded so that, because you probably know that field gets very wet, we can't even mow the outfield sometimes. So the water is gonna be directed away from that, so they know that A field's not gonna be available to them.
Okay. That covers everything I wanted to get.
Okay.
Outstanding fields.
All right. Land acquisition, yes, we know, go ahead.
No, I actually have something to say.
Oh, wow, usually,
No, many may have known that we had asked for a 15 million bond. We've reduced that down to 10, and the Board of Selectmen approved that to go to the vote of people. So nothing's done. It doesn't mean we spent 10 million. We had a 5 million bond I think we've had for 20 years, and we still have a little bit left on it. But we asked for a renewal of that and then some to coincide with the cost of living. What it does is it secures money at a lower interest rate right now, and it allows us to have a little leverage if and after everything we go through, if a property is going to be purchased. Thank you, built. I was just going to say built, purchased. So, so that's the rest I can't tell you, but that's it.
okay, thank you. Okay, splash pad, good news, good news.
Underway, if you've been down to Jacobs, you've seen it's all fenced off and work is being done. Rick, do you have any other, I know that they were doing test pits, but that wasn't for the splash pad.
No, that's for parking and septic. Yeah, the
But we got
play
the stuff,
equipment
didn't we?
arrived last week. The Vortex, the splash spray things are coming tomorrow or Wednesday. And we're really happy about that, because originally it said it could take 12 to 20 weeks. 20 weeks would put us into mid to late May. And here we are, early March, and we're getting it, so that's really good news.
And I think
So
the
that's
bricks
really
are
The bricks,
already, the
we had
bricks
the
are done?
ordered?
Bricks were
Or
ordered
some of them.
Friday, and they came in Monday.
My 17-year-old actually noticed the work being done at the beach, and they noticed nothing. And she's like, what are we doing? I'm like,
And he
Sure
said,
wasn't the
what's
potholes
that?
they saw?
No.
Yeah, and they connected the water line a couple weeks ago, so they found that and connected it, so I think it's gonna move pretty quickly. So now, everything that needs to be ordered is gonna be here by Wednesday.
Great.
You know, they're in concrete, but I mean.
So how quickly do you think this will be done? May, June?
Our goal, I think, it's not unreasonable to think it could be ready by Memorial Day. I think,
Wow.
you know.
That'd be amazing.
And that's the goal. I
That
mean,
would be great.
If we had to go into mid-June, we could.
Oh, yeah.
We'll make sure before
Well,
camp
two, we have to
starts.
do, yeah.
You don't have construction going on. we
Right.
can't.
Ribbon cutting party?
I believe we will.
Make it a big splash.
Oh, you've been waiting to do that, haven't you?
Just came,
Moving on.
just came up.
Okay, unfinished business, box lacrosse, there's still,
Still talking?
Wetlands.
oh, wait,
flag.
are you done with?
Oh, no, I said still talking about
Oh,
that?
yeah. We are still talking about that.
Okay.
Wetlands, I think I mentioned last month, were flagged, and they are working with Mike Ott from Summerhill Engineering. Mike's done a lot of work with us to design, what they're gonna put in there. So they're taking it steps at a time, but they're moving it.
Good. So we're getting there. Okay, the budget hearing. Tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night on Zoom at 7:30.
Oh, it's gonna be all on Zoom?
It's all Zoom, yeah. And then, so that's the hearing where the budget is presented to the Board of Finance by Matt, representing the town, and Dr. Freeman from the Board of Ed.
Right.
And then the workshop is on Thursday at 7:30. I think that's Zoom also.
Okay.
And that's where they start debating about
Debating what to do.
if they're gonna cut anything or
Okay.
whatever they're gonna do.
Tomorrow's
good.
budget meeting, though, is there public forum, even though it's on Zoom?
I think so, because it's usually a public hearing,
Yeah.
where people can comment on it.
Where would you get the link?
It's on the website.
It's on the website, town's website,
Yeah, I know it's been,
so people know.
it's been passed around Facebook as well.
Yes,
Oh, maybe I should, okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay, interior lighting.
It's all done.
It's all done.
Yeah.
So that can now come off the,
Yeah.
done. Fine, it's always nice to see something done.
Mhm.
50 driveway.
Not done.
Not done.
Like, oh, we like this.
Never. I know, well, I can't have everything.
Yeah. Nothing new there.
Nothing new there?
No.
No, okay, but we're still working on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're back to the Jacobs parking lot and septic improvements, so we know there's pits there now.
Right. So, again, Mike Ott is working on both those projects for the town, and just to refresh your memory, the septic system kept backing up in the summer. It's too small to handle the amount of use it gets now. And so, with Sonia Marino, the town public health director, and engineering department, and Mike Ott being the on-call engineer for the town, or an on-call engineer, they're working on a plan to upgrade that. And I said, it'd be really nice to get that by mid-April, but I said the parking lot is a higher priority. We can open the park with the bathrooms that we have now, they work. They're not gonna overflow yet, not, until we get into
Summer.
camp and a lot of picnics and everything. And if we had to shut them down for a couple of days, we could do it, but the priority, the parking lot, I said, we can't open that park with the parking lot like it is. You lose fillings, you go more than 5 miles an hour in there. It's the worst I've ever seen it. It's just bad with all the freeze thaw we've had, and rain and snow and everything this year. So Mike is working on that plan, Mike Ott, and it'll be pretty much ripping it all out, putting some better draining stone underneath it, and then regrading it,
Yeah.
and pitch it toward the center where the,
Grassy.
well, where the weeds are
Yeah,
right now.
yeah.
Talking with John Cunningham, I said, well, while we're doing this, why don't we talk about what do we do with that island? We can't keep up with the weeding, and the park is beautiful except for that. We can't do it, we can't keep up with it. So, we were looking at either a green strip in there of just grass and with some irrigation in it, it's a possibility. The other one would be to just put a guardrail there and have catch basins, so if they're gonna drain the water to there, let it really get in there, make it like a swale, get that water out of there. Because then we'll have less of the potholing happen in the parking lot there, because right now it's got nowhere to go, it just sits there. So, John's working with us on that as a landscape architect, and Mike Ott, and we'll just see what they're gonna come up with, but whatever. The main thing is to get that parking lot in a better condition than it is. So I emphasized to him, that should be the highest priority. Again, septic, the bathrooms are okay for now. And,
Okay.
can wait a little on that, but we can't open up anything down there until we get
Until that parking lot, right.
Rick, can I ask a question?
Absolutely.
Is Board of Selectmen in on this discussion since they are in charge of parking lots, not Park and Rec?
I was just gonna ask that.
Just have to
And-
I
ask.
think they're aware of it.
And
Okay.
if there's
There.
septic improvements, would that in any way affect the parking lot? So like before we get the parking lot done, then all of a sudden there's septic problems that need to be.
Yeah, I don't think
addressed
so,
and dug
'cause
up again, so.
I think, because
Yeah.
the septic tank is gonna go, pretty much they decided where the current tank is, the other one's gonna go there. It's right next to on the beach side of the bathhouse. So it's away from the parking lot. Yeah, so, if they could almost do it concurrently, that'd be nice, but no matter what, that parking lot's gotta get done.
But the Selectman's office is aware of the septic and
Yeah.
and the parking.
Oh, and the money for the septic's coming out of the ARPA funds, it's not in our budget.
That's why we know they're
'Cause
aware of it.
It's part of park improvements, yeah.
If they don't get the septic system completed with just more frequent cleans, would that solve the problem?
We'd have to do that. We did it 4 weeks in a row last year.
Last year, it cost a lot.
You know, it's like $400 each time.
I think they'll get it
Yeah.
done. I
Well,
think they'll
yes,
get it done.
that's the other option. to
That's
do
the
it.
only option.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And who pays for the parking lot work to be done? Whose budget is that?
it came, go ahead.
Well, I'm gonna, since they were gonna give us $180,000 for the splash pad, and we don't need it now, because we got the wonderful
Donation.
anonymous donation, $311,000, that I'm gonna ask if they can shift that money to help pay for the parking lot. We have to get a cost that we don't know what it's gonna be
Right.
yet. That's why I've asked Mike if he could focus on that, get the specs, get some initial even quotes, so we get some idea of what it's gonna cost, and then we go to the Board of Selectmen for approval for that.
So it's our job to do the work with the quotes for the parking lots, and then we provide that to the first one. Is that correct, or am I? just
Well, they would have to
curious as
prove
that-
it anyway, yeah, definitely.
But we do the legwork, getting the bids and how much it costs. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yes, we're doing the legwork.
We are doing the legwork, but it's not our jurisdiction.
Gotcha.
We
Thank
are
you.
being very cooperative
Thank you, I just wasn't.
because we have jurisdiction over the beach.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay.
We play nice in the sandbox.
We do.
Or the
We
splash
do.
pad.
Or the
Yeah,
splash
Or the
pad.
splash pad.
Thank you for the clarification.
That's why we're on Park and Rec now. Okay, the marker buoy, I thought we agreed that was going to happen.
It is, it's just still on there, because we just got the money in for the permit, it's $25, sent a permit in, but, just waiting for the Harbor Management Commission to officially approve it, which I think they will, because they're the ones that suggested we do it this way.
Okay.
So, yeah, once we get that, then we can take, that'll come off the agenda too.
Okay. All right, and revised field policy subcommittee.
So, we talked, John, I think, and Tara, you two were on it, so there wasn't a field committee meeting for them to appoint somebody else from the field committee on it. So, but I know Mark Donovan said he's willing to do it again, he was on it last time. And I think John Kennedy said he might be willing to do it, but they haven't had a meeting to officially appoint that. I mean, we're okay right now, because we're not gonna, if we're gonna talk about adjusting fees, we really can't do it now when seasons are about ready to start, because the leagues would have to, if we're going to charge something different, I mean, they gotta build that into their registration costs. But at the very least, I think we
It'll
gotta
have to be
talk
for
about,
fall, yeah.
at the very least, I think the lights, we're still charging for the lights for the softball field, soccer field, of what we charged 20 years ago. And it was $25 an hour, and I think we might have gone to 30, but the high school charges 50. So at the very least, we gotta think about that. If nothing else, we're losing money on when the lights are burning. You know, the 25, back in those days, I figured out how many kilowatt hours did we spend per hour. And I actually had a formula, I figured it all out. Well, maybe Jake already figured it out, so we said, hey, 50 at the high school, it's 50 here. But anyway, at some point, I think that's one of the things we gotta talk about, you know, with the committee, if we wanna go up on that a little bit.
Have you heard anything from the adult leagues as to whether or not they're going to be?
I think they're coming back.
They're coming back?
Yeah, Ellen's working with it, yeah.
Ellen's working on that?
Yeah, yeah. But I think she told me the other day that she thinks that there's a different contact, that they want to play here again.
Okay, new business. So we did get a request that we put trash barrels back at the Barbara Pine Beach now, not in the summer. So Rick, you had the phone call with Steve, so I'm going to let you fill everybody in on it.
So, I've also had a request at Shell Beach, you know, to put a barrel down there. We always take them out in the winter, we take them out of athletic fields. I mean, there's nobody using the fields, there's no reason to put trash barrels out there. And Tony has found that when we have left them at some of these other sort of outlying places, they fill up with household trash, which is against the law, and we end up dumping it, and we have to pay for it. It happens even during the summer, so I want to say it's just in the winter, it happens, you know, anytime, but, you know, there's I don't think there's a lot of need for it. I mean, the gentleman who wrote the letter, I spoke with him, I talked to him about it, and you see, he cited, and he wanted to make sure that I brought this up to the commission, Article 214-3 in the town regulations. It says, under beach and related facilities, litter must be placed in trash barrels, which implies there'll be trash barrels there. I mean, he's right, that's what the ordinance says, but, I mean, generally speaking, nobody's on a beach.
I don't understand what the problem with people and trash is. I do not understand it.
Yeah.
You guys are gonna start right now, aren't you? You've
I
gone
just
and-
don't.
Well, do we
Is
need
it
to
just
make
the-
an
Pack it in,
amendment?
pack
Is
it
it
out.
just the
I agree.
convenience, or is it just, like, I have a trash can in my car? Maybe that's just me. Why should a town be held responsible for taking care of other people's trash? I do not.
Well, because it's at a town facility,
Yeah.
town beach, they feel there should be a trash barrel there
But
for
I don't think people
trash.
are realizing the cost of that. It's not just merely putting a trash can and leaving it there.
So the one
It's the,
thing that I would say with Barbara Pine Beach is the dog beach. And people are gonna be more apt to not pick up their dogs
exactly.
stuff if there's no trash can there.
I don't know. I
No,
don't
yeah,
think
I
really,
see
because people
that.
walk their dogs and take the bags, like there should be bags
They're not gonna put
there.
it, like, if they bring the dog out to go to the beach, they're not gonna put,
Well,
the most, I mean, I'm not, but a lot of
Right.
people won't.
No, you're right.
But according to the
Yeah.
conversation you and I had right after the phone call, is people are picking up the dog,
Yeah.
but they're leaving the bag
In the garbage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
sitting on the beach.
Right.
They're not, because there's
That-
no
that
trash
just-
pail, they're not
that doesn't
taking it
delete the
home.
purpose. That
They're
happens
just letting it
everywhere.
sit on the beach.
So Rick, so this gentleman, he, coming from Rick.
Don't let me
So he wants barrels in the wintertime at these two places.
Well,
It's one place.
For
somebody else-
what
Someone
purpose
was
though?
asking
Like,
about the other,
Shell Beach, okay.
Shell Beach.
So where on our grounds do we keep barrels in the wintertime?
We do keep a couple of Jacobs Beach, the playground's
Because of
there,
the
so it's still a
playground.
park, people are using it, we have them at Bittner.
I think that's it.
Chaffinch, you know, I'm meeting with somebody, because somebody asked a question about Chaffinch too. I don't know if I'm not sure we keep them at Chaffinch this time of year, I'm not sure. But clearly the Green, Jacobs, Bittner, none at Quantapug, and the athletic fields, we pull them off.
So we-
Chittenden, I don't think there are any
So
right
we've
now.
never, like you said, we've never kept them there in the wintertime.
No. But if I could just say, one of the points that the gentleman from Shell Beach said is that volunteers clean up stuff that comes up, washes up on the shore there, and they got no place to put it. So, I mean, to their credit, they're helping clean up, which is, you know, it's nice, they're doing
When I
it.
clean up an area, I bring garbage bags with me.
Well, so here's what I suggested. I suggested to both these gentlemen that,
I hear you,
if
Diane.
there's a
Sorry,
garbage
I'm
bag
having
and
time
you,
with
if someone leaves it there, call me, then I'll send a guy to go pick it up. But not, we're gonna go twice a week to pick up trash. If somebody's kindly help clean up the beach, you know, and, which is a great community thing for
It's very
people to
nice.
do, let me know, and we'll get someone there to pick it up, the bag. And to me, I thought that was reasonable.
So do you think we need to make an amendment to our, Article 214-3, that, litter must be placed in trash barrels during a certain season, because we only have them out normally during
No, just
the
say if
open
they're placed-
season?
If they're placed, they
I-
have to be in the trash barrels, but if there's nothing in place,
Then there's,
then take it home with you, or do something else with it. But don't.
I agree, but, I mean, if we're gonna be
We're
quoted,
in nanny state, and we're gonna clean up after your trash.
John, I totally agree with you. I mean, my kids have to bring their garbage out with them. My car's full of garbage, because they don't seem to take it out of my car. They put it in there, but they don't take it out.
Are you the one I saw, I could hardly see out of the windshield? You had all those
Yeah,
things piled up?
that would be me. So, I mean, if they're gonna quote this article, then, you know, we need to make sure that it's clear that, you know, we do not place garbage cans at these facilities during the whole year,
I don't know if
so.
we should put seasons in there though, because then on the flip side, it implies, I don't know, it just seems strange to say you have to put it in a trash can in the summer.
Well, no, but I
Not
mean, we
in
have to
the
make it
because that would be
clear.
taken a whole different way.
I know.
But we
Exactly.
obviously need to make it clearer, because he's quoting it saying that we're saying it has to go in a trash barrel, but we do not offer a trash barrel all year.
Why don't we say it has to go in a trash barrel or be carried out if no
Right,
trash barrel
so
is
that's what I'm
available?
saying.
I don't think we could say anything until this has to go through the selectmen and everything. This is not.
But a
something we can do.
recommendation,
We could
to the Board of
Recommend that
Selectmen
they
that
take a
we
look
need
at
to
it.
change the
We
wording
need
of
to
this,
change the
however
wording.
we feel that it should be worded, but obviously it needs to be addressed because we're being quoted of saying that it must be placed in trash barrels, but we do not offer trash barrels during certain times. So however we word it, like Tara said, just change it that if there's a trash barrel available, or, you know, take it out if there's not, I don't know.
I
but-
think most of the hiking trails don't have trash. You hike a lot of trails, right? Some of the trailheads used to have barrels. I don't think any of them have.
None of them.
Nope.
Well, at least the preserve at the exit.
Well, at one spot, if you want to talk about the Timberlands or Westwoods or Bittner Park or Baldwin, no, there are no trash
Yeah,
cans.
the only place that has them is East River Preserve.
Right.
And we empty that one.
And that's only at one entrance of the East River. You got the entrances on the other side of town, over by Podunk, there are no trash barrels.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of in agreement that we would not put trash pails there.
If
Does
it's not
this,
broke, nothing's broke, so there's nothing to fix.
I think this is all part of the, getting people to realize they need to take their trash with
Yes.
them. I mean,
Yes.
like, the barrels were moved onto the green from the sidewalk,
Sidewalks.
and we talk about trash a lot, and it just seems like slowly, maybe we're getting people to,
I just
Hopefully
wonder
getting
if
people to
it's
change their-
become, like, the reason it was brought up, I guess, is there a problem down there that we're seeing a
The-
lot of
the poop
extra
bags might be-
litter and poop bags, is that the problem, or like, how did it even come up?
Steve Ward, he's the one who's concerned about Barbara Pine Beach.
Yeah, okay.
Because people are leaving the doggy bags on the beach, but it's not like people come from out of town or from far away to go to the Barbara Pine Beach. It seems to
Yeah.
me it's a neighborhood.
Yes.
And the
that's what a
beach,
lot of
so
people
I
do,
think-
but-
The people who leave it on the beach are going to leave it on the beach whether you have a barrel there or not.
they may not
Because-
even put it in the barrel if the barrel's there.
Right, they will just do, I've seen it at Hammonasset, you walk and you just can't believe, what,
Yes.
why would you leave it for someone else to pick up? And put it, go to the effort to pick up the garbage bit.
I'm down at the town patch all the time.
Oh, it's
and there's a
disgusting.
line of cans
Where?
out the
The
winter
dock.
marina. Garbage everywhere. They-
Yep.
They don't take the effort to walk from here to over there.
I think the message I'm going to say is just have some civic pride and take it with you.
Please,
There-
yes,
there-
please.
There's nothing wrong about being proud of the place that you live, and maybe taking a little extra effort to make it look clean. But geez, just to rely upon, to call up Rick and say, we've got some poopy bags down here you need to pick up, I think that's a little extreme, all right?
Well, if you saw the note, my first note to back, I said, appreciate that people pick up trash that washes up, but they should not be leaving their dog bags there. They should take them back with their own trash.
Which,
I guess we could take the doggy bags out of there during the winter, I guess. Not even have them there, but.
No, but then everything would just be all over the beach.
Yeah.
That's not gonna, that wouldn't solve the problem.
It's a service
But I
we
think-
provide.
I think you made it clear that you need to take these trash bags home.
End of story.
I think we're good. Okay. The basketball courts, well, what can we say at this point, other than we did go up to Bittner, we looked around, we thought about what we might be able to do, but it is out of our hands right now until the town tells us that they want us to do anything. We're just gonna sit back and wait and see what happens. Is that fair enough?
Yes.
Yes.
That's accurate, 100%.
Okay. And lastly, on our new business, we have a request for a bench at the dog park.
So, I don't think I have that letter, but
Yeah, I
it was an email. I think somebody wanted to name a bench, I believe it was after a dog, and they want to purchase
That's nice.
a bench for $500. The bench may cost more than that, but we have money in the dog park account that was raised when the dog park was built. There's money left over there. So I spoke to Catherine Kieran, who's, sort of the volunteer that really heads up that whole dog park
Right.
volunteer group. And she knows the situation, and she said, yeah, I think it'd be a good thing. And I know it's not on our list of benches. I don't know if we ever really looked in the dog park.
No, we didn't look at the dog park.
No, that's what I was like.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we
Maybe
ever
we
did
should.
think
You
about
never
it.
know.
I know, in hindsight.
So there is some room, for one there. She said she has an idea where it could go. So Rose and I talked, and Rose said, yeah, really should, the commission should approve it, because it's a bench, it's something in a park that you should approve it or not. But it wouldn't cost anything out of our budget or anything, it would be paid for by the person. And if there's money beyond what it would cost, it would come out of that dog park account.
Well, is it possible to get two benches then, one from a donation from the individual, the other from the dog park fund?
Well, there's a couple, there's benches there.
I don't use the dog park, four, I think.
There's some there.
If there's a request for one, I don't think we should talk about getting two, it's just one. Because you never know, John, if somebody else may come around and want another bench. So if there's a request for one, I think we only need to approve the one.
So, Rick, my question is always, so this volunteer, is the bench needed?
They could use another one.
There you
Yeah.
go, all right.
Yeah, they've got four.
I think it's four.
Four, yeah.
Two by the fence, I think two out toward the middle there.
So
And they
they'll
use-
get you.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
They
I walk
use
by
those
benches
to
all the
raise
time,
money
I've
for the,
Never seen anybody on it.
right?
There's
They
always
sell those
dogs,
to raise
people,
money for
everybody
adoption.
on that.
Sometimes
Uh-huh.
there's 30 dogs in
They
that
would
park
just-
sometimes.
This was a,
You know, it gets a lot of use.
No,
But they're not
four
gonna use
that are
the bench, right? And the
Dogs.
dogs?
I don't know.
Oh, Ted does.
Suzanne says they do.
Rick, can I just, while we're talking about this at the dog, can we just point out what my dog likes to do at the dog park?
talk about Teddy.
Yeah, let's talk about Ted. All right, so he finds the one spot that has a big hole in it
Greatest
and rolls around in it, and just imagine what I have to do after that. But I'll show, this is the spot, like literally he like lays it. So I'm just like, look at, it's like the only spot in the whole.
Wonder if we
place.
could fill the
But I
spot?
wonder if we could fill up like something.
We do, once, you know, the volunteers say, hey, we need wood chips,
We do it,
Yeah.
yeah.
we bring them in there with a loader, and then they
Okay.
spread them.
All right, I'm gonna tell Catherine. You
Yeah.
So we do that.
Yeah.
She'll just say, you get what you get.
Rick, the other benches that are there, were they donations as well, or did they were part of the park when we put it in?
Part of the park, part of the funds for the dog park.
Okay. Okay, just wanted to get that straight.
Yeah. Which were donations.
There's a lot of spots for benches.
Yeah.
People are always asking for, and, you know, people love their dogs, so.
So the benches
Well, we
for
have
the
to look at
people.
it, but there's room
Yes.
for one bench at this point.
For sure.
All right,
You
all right,
never
so
know.
there is room for the one bench.
whole perimeter, you know, you can do the whole perimeter.
All right, so I think we need a motion for this?
I make a motion to approve of a bench at the dog park with the person making a $500 donation towards the bench. If it's more, it'll come out of our budget,
Okay.
all right?
Well, out of the account,
Out of the-
it's for dog.
Okay.
Dog park, yeah.
When that bench will be approved by director, manager. Got it.
Okay, someone second it? Second. Any more discussion on the bench? It will fit in with the rest of the benches, I assume, everything, but yes, okay. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, looks like we all said aye. Any other new business? Wow. No other new business? Okay. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Somebody second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Wow.